Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go the Cash App. Show your boys some love. Y'all know YouTube be taking about D1 told me 66%. So show your boys some love. There go the PayPal at Dean by any means. Y'all see that heart with the dollar sign? Well, that's the super chat. You can press that at any time your heart desires. Please say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. Please bear with me today, y'all. I am not feeling the best. Demons under the weather, but we gonna get this done because of the things that I see on these YouTube streets. I was right again. I was right again. I told y'all, I let people talk that like to talk because you get to see how full of ish they are. Now, Brian Norman Sr. had an interview on Mill City Boxing. Shout out to Mill City Boxing. Go like, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And he had the nerve to be complaining about Top Rank and how they promote Brian Norman Jr. Well, ain't that amazing? You mean like I predicted, my guy? But the audacity to sit up there and complain about how you getting moved in boxing when you decided to turn down Jaronennis to be a co-main on a female undercard that I'm not too familiar with. And then you upset about it, talking about yeah, well, I ain't signed the Top Rank. That's my son. I ain't gonna say too much stuff to hurt him. You already hurt your son. You turned down his biggest payday, and now he's not even getting close to that. You see how these Earthmen be lying? I know if you ain't happy about the promotion, you definitely ain't happy about the pay. You turned down 1.7 million and a chance at a belt to be an undercard on a female undercard that I'm not too familiar with. I'm sorry about sorry, young lady. I don't know who you are or that familiar with you. And clearly, Brian Norman Sr. isn't either. Now, all of a sudden, you want boots next. Well, you better hold. Didn't I tell y'all the pressure will be mounting as soon as Jaronennis get a fight with Amantis Stanionis? I really do this. I really do this. Didn't I tell y'all in my last video and videos prior to that once this happened, it's like a domino effect. It's going to have to put the pressure on Brian Norman Jr. because like I said in my last video, if he don't fight Jaron in his next, it's going to be it's a career ender. You not now do you see you was never in position to turn down 1.7 million? Where are all them people at that was defending Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr.? Where y'all at? Where y'all at now? Where the panels at now? Now Brian Norman Sr. agrees with me. Ain't it funny? Didn't he say all you Philly cats is biased and all that? Brian Norman Sr. has a bigger fight than his son. Oops. Did I say that? Brian Norman Sr. has a bigger fight than his son got. At least Brian Norman Sr., the main event. We are more interested in Brian Norman Sr. versus Greg Hackett than we is who his son fighting in the card his son fighting on. That is a fact. I told y'all, we only care about Brian Norman Jr. because he attached himself to Jaron. The problem with that now is Amantis Stanionis done took all of that spotlight. So now it looked like, well, Amantis Stanionis made the fight with y'all excuse. And y'all been running your mouth much more. But Amantis Stanionis got it done. Now it vindicates Eddiehearn. Because everybody was saying that Eddie's the reason it didn't happen. That can't be because Amantis Stanionis had no problem signing the contract and getting the fight done. Brian Norman Jr. is not getting a bigger payday or a better fight. So who do it look like was capping and wrong this whole time? And you can't blame it on Bob because Bob would have never let him negotiate in the first place if he wasn't going to let him fight Jaronennis. But now you got a problem with how Bob Arum is promoting people. But the whole time you got so much to say about Jaronennis, but can't even help your own son. You need to focus on Brian Norman Jr. like I told you, senior. Earthman. Now you sitting up there complaining about your son and a fight he got and how Top Rank is moving him. But the problem with that is your son wouldn't even be in that position if he just would have took the Jaronennis fight. That's the truth, y'all. That's the absolute truth. It's so funny. Brian Norman Sr. was talking about how he could take 4 fights, 5 fights. They ain't got to fight Jaron and all of that. Y'all remember that? Then that happens, and now he's complaining about how that's going, how Top Rank's going about that, how that looks. No, this is what you asked for, senior. You the one that said you don't need Jaronennis. Y'all got other fights out there. You'll take 3, 4, 5 fights. Your son just became champion. Well, when you move like that, sir, and turn down big fights, and we already know that Bob Arum doesn't do the best job at promoting black fighters. Well, this is what you get. Your son ain't in a position. Your son ain't no name, like we was telling you before. Look how we come around, though. Y'all ain't proved me wrong about nothing on this YouTube yet. I really does this. I'm really one of the best in the game, and it's not even close because you can't name a content creator that has been more on point as far as when it comes to this subject. He got the nerve to complain about how his son is getting moved in a fight he got when he had the biggest chance to unify and had the biggest fight in the 147 division and be the main event and get a $1.7 million payday. Lord have mercy. You're not in position to complain now, senior. How dare you? You got what you asked for. Didn't you say you wanted 3, 4, 5 fights? Your son 23, he just became champion. Well, your son 23, he just became champion. Here go one of your 4 or 5 fights. Got your manager all out here talking about business, but obviously your manager ain't doing that good of a job, senior, because if he was, wouldn't be complaining right now. Now, would you? Ether, mic drop. How you got a more interesting fight than your son? More people care about you versus Greg Hackett than they do Brian Norman Jr. versus whoever it is that he's fighting. I haven't even looked into it or care. He's not fighting Jaronennis and he's a co-main. I don't care who he's fighting. I'm probably not even going to watch that card. And it won't just be me that probably won't be watching it either. Nasty, nasty, nasty work. That's a bad joint. You need to get it together. I'm sorry, my guy. You looking nutty out here. Like I told you, you would do. Turn down a $1.7 million payday to be a co-main on a card that don't nobody care about. And I hate to say this, but then you a co-main to a female that is not even a big name. That goes to show you just how much of your name is in the dirt right now. It ain't like he the co-main to Amanda Serrano and Carissa Shields or Alicia Bumgarner. I can understand that. Crazy. You talking about, yeah, I went up there and got to talk to Top Rank. They know I'm going to run my mouth. That's what you're good at running your mouth. You should have been doing that. You didn't know your son was in this position? You didn't know your son was in this position when you was talking all crazy and acting like y'all some name and y'all this and y'all that. Well, like I told y'all wasn't. Bob Arum showed you wasn't. Seems like Bob Arum think about y'all exactly what I think about y'all. Turkey ain't offering y'all no bag. Unless you fight Jaronennis, then he might think about it. Turn down 1.7 million to be the co-main, put him in the dirt. Brian Norman Sr., you are in no position to complain about who your son is fighting right now, my guy. You cannot do that. Not you. Not Mr. We don't need Jaronennis. Not Mr. My son is this and my son is that. Well, clearly he isn't. And clearly you're not happy. But you wasn't happy with 1.7 million, and that's how I know you ducked Jaron. You could have took 1.7 million, had all of the spotlight on your son, could have been your biggest payday, could have unified. Instead, you the co-main on the card, don't nobody care about it. Even you don't care about it. You're upset about it. So don't get mad that I made this video, Earthman. You shouldn't have been doing all of that capping. Now you want to be complaining. Don't nobody feel sorry for you. Y'all know what this is, though, right? Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all. Right again.